Ladies and gentlemen, hey, what's going on? It's Debate the Cause here. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, and what a time! Can you tell what it is yet? Can you see it now? Can like from all the videos that I was making years ago, Heavenly Truth One, Functician, many years ago. I mean, enough time has passed for us to have been wrong and the naysayers to be proved right. Can you tell what it is yet? Can you see it now? Can you see the teeth? Can you see the fangs? Can you see the horns? Can you? Oh, what's he talking about? What's he talking about? Okay. Okay. All right. Anyway, let me just do a little recap. Hi, how's it going? For anyone who used to listen to me, yeah, man, it's been a very tumultuous few years. I used to do blogs on the regular, certain powers that be. It's really weird. Make a couple of videos about some prominent pedophiles, and then all of a sudden you get made homeless, isn't it? It's really weird. But anyway, long and short of it is, focused on doing my teaching gig, and I was getting people into uni, and that was all well and good. But as the climate of the climate of the hostile climate, rather, as the hostile climate, how can I put it, sank in. The white supremacists and the coons. Remember when it was? Remember when the year of the bootlicking coon? Oh, they only got they got promoted after that. They got to positions of power after that, and it was only a matter of time before the white supremacists and the bootlicking coons colluded to fabricate circumstances in order to get me fired from my job in teaching after 20 years. But, I always knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I knew an individual or a character like myself with the imbuing young people with the ability to think and see things for, let's say, the way it is rather than the way they would like it to be. You can't have someone like me floating around, not in the educational system. So, at some part, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a part two, Navigating the Racist Workplace part two. Learned so much. But what an interesting year 2020 has been. Okay, let's start from the beginning. A very good place to start. Start of 2020. I was ill, man. I was down with some really weird bug. First of all, actually, my girlfriend was down for over Christmas. We didn't. I went to see family. She didn't come with me because she said she had some illness. And I was like, shake it off. When I got it, boy, I was down for 6, 7 weeks with the cough and everything. I believe that was the COVID. That hit around December, January, and I was ill until, let's say, the beginning of March. Yeah, that's how long I was ill for. Over that time, uh, it is true that China, Wuhan especially, they'd released a statement saying there appears to be a virus on the loose. Can all young people make sure that they wash their hands and their feet when they go in and outside property? Elderly people should especially take care over this period of time because it's having a devastating effect on the elderly. Uh, and these are this is this is the Chinese press. They said curiously it is not affecting our Nigerian population. However, we would ask that all people still wash their hands and maintain hygiene practices. That was the first slip up that gave us all the clue. When China says their Nigerian population, they mean all black people. They mean that part of China where the black people stay. So that could be Ugandans, Kenyans, that could be West Africans, African Americans, if you want to call them that. So when they say their generalized term is Nigerian. So they were saying, well, black people weren't dying from it. I mean, they were getting it, but they weren't dying from it. So disproportionately, we were already seeing that this thing was, as I said, disproportionately affecting the people out there in Wuhan. And not that the Nigerians or the black people over there weren't getting it and boasting about it, but they had a good time. They had a good run where everybody knew there was a virus about, and they knew that it wasn't affecting them. That was in January, right? You're in China, there's a virus, there's a lockdown. Your black ass is over there in China. There's a lockdown. And what did you do when you knew you were safe in January? Nothing. What did you do in February? Nothing. What did you do in March? Nothing. Towards the end of March, because the Africans have sat on their ass and done nothing. Chinese whispers, haha, right? After a while, people started blaming black people for COVID, and then because they did nothing for 3 months, and they didn't act upon the widely known realization at the time that it wasn't affecting them. They allowed themselves to get played. Let's go back January, February anyway. January, I'm ill. I'm just saying, hey, what kind of weird kind of illness is this? My friends on the internet are ill. They're like, what kind of cough is this? It's not going, right? And when I get ill like that, sometimes the first thing I think is I can't go around to my grand's house because this will kill her. Now, my grand's been dead for several years now, God rest her soul, but it popped into my mind. That's how ill I was, contemplating your own mortality. Bloody hell, this could kill me. I was coughing so badly, my chest was tender, right? Touched my chest and it hurt because of the spasms of coughing that many times. That's how ill I was, right? So I was definitely down with something, and my girlfriend had it. So there was something that made me ill. That's a fact, and there's something that made me so ill that I thought, well, boy, I don't want to go around to my brother's house and infect his family, and I want to see my mum. She's getting up in age. I quarantined myself. And anyway, I was ill for about 6 weeks. February went by. No mention of black people. March went by. No mention of black people. By this time, the black media had already been putting it about that this thing wasn't affecting us. We knew something the rest of the population didn't as they started to proceed into a lockdown. Now, our stupid ass, because our kids know that probably, even though we've been ill and so forth, quarantined, once you're ill, you're not going to get the same thing again. Some of them didn't even get it. Well, they're going to go out and party. They're going to go out partying. I also saw some news in about February about one or two Ugandans who'd recovered in a Chinese hospital. So they were able to recover. Black people were recovering from this. Not saying they didn't get it, because I got something. But we recovered. But the thing that I got was harsh. And the thing that I got would have killed an elderly person. So there was something there. That's all I'm saying. Fast forward January, February, March. Still no mention of black people. Oh, and then all of a sudden, the mainstream media start to see the little street parties, start to see black people having their little parties in America. We don't give a shit about COVID. It's not killing. Then all of a sudden, some basketball player called Durant in America, he has COVID, really? Then all of a sudden, Idris Elba has got now. This is the thing that disappointed me the most. Idris coming now. If you spoke to me when I was ill, I wouldn't have been able to utter one sentence without coughing. Idris Elba's on there looking a little bit sweaty, going, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I think I've got COVID. I've got COVID-19, and I'd just like to bring everyone aware that it's possible. Make the fuck out of here with your fluid sentences. Yeah, because what? Oh, and here's the other one. Oh yeah, it can affect you." And you can have it, but you are asymptomatic, so it doesn't kill you, but you can have it. And what kind of fucking bullshit? What kind of voodoo fucking bullshit are people spreading now? You can have the disease, but not suffer from it, but spread it to other people. Oh, and where would this disease reside with this mystery? Well, you wouldn't want to project it into the black community by any chance, would you? Two twos now. Frontline workers are starting to die. All this African person, this person, and this person is dying. And listen, Afro Caribbean and Black African people disproportionately are represented in the National Health Service. They are the frontline staff, and with no protection, as we all know happened in the UK. Well, of course, they're generally going to get that thing that was genuinely there that I had, and they're going to die disproportionately because they're frontline. Conversely, at the time, don't you remember all of the memes and all the newspapers showing completely lily white staff in all the NHS? Isn't that really weird? Do you remember all the newspapers? It was all white staff. But conversely, we've got all of these black people disproportionately dying because they're on the front line. It's weird how they sneak the imbalancing. And another thing that I saw going on, playing with the figures. Okay, so let's say for instance we take 10 people. Let's say 8 of them are white, 2 of them are black. Right? Of the 2 black people, it's only 2. Of the 2 black people, let's say one of them tests for COVID and the other one doesn't. Okay? Out of 10. The 2 black people, one of them tests for COVID, the other one doesn't. The media will say 50% of black people tested will have COVID. Because of the 2 you tested, one of them had it. That's 50%. That's half. There goes that word again. It's disproportionately. You're going to hear that word. I've been laying that one on a bit thick because I've started using it now. So of the 2 people tested, one of them has it. That becomes 50%. Oh, if you test the other 8 white people, of the 8 white people now, 3 of them can have COVID, right? But that's still less than half. But 3 is more than 2. Or 3 is more than 1. Sorry, 3 white people can have COVID out of the 8, and that's less than half. Okay, but 2 black people, 1 can have it, and that will be 50%. That's how they play the numbers. Do you understand? Do you see how it's basic stupidity, and that's what I'm saying. If you don't just do like 30 seconds worth of looking into something, you're gonna believe it. Now all of a sudden I saw full court press on black people. COVID-19, black people have it. Black now, if you go anywhere up and down the road here, it's pure black people wearing the mask. Now in the beginning, I was telling in the meaning, I was going around telling everybody, don't worry about it. China's saying that you're not going to die for it. You might get something, but you're not going to die for it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be conspiracy theory nutcase. There was something there. Was it 5G? Were they running 5G tests at the time? I don't know. Something made me ill. Something made my girlfriend ill. She had it first, then I had it. So once again, I'll reiterate the point. I can't say there is nothing. But let's pull up the threads of this. All of a sudden, black people are getting it. All of a sudden, black people on the front lines are getting it. All of a sudden, these high-profile black people are getting it. And then all of a sudden, we start to hear whispers about the trials, vaccines, dead bodies in Africa, Bill and Melinda Gates, dead bodies in Africa, bodies in the streets for the COVID. Everyone's like, oh, right, okay, hold on a second. Once again, hold on a second. What was the narrative that we were pushing in January? Oh, this is disease, and when it gets to Africa, and what was the narrative in February? Oh, this is disease, bloody hell, when it gets to Africa. And what was the narrative in March? The disease. And we started testing in the UK. When it gets to Africa, April. There's going to be body in the streets when it gets to Africa. By this time we're saying shut up. Dead bodies. Like from January till now, it seems like the mainstream media had a hard on for COVID-19 going into Africa and decimating the population. This makes me start to think, was this thing a biological weapon? People have murmured that one. You've heard that one, COVID-19 is a biological weapon. You've heard that it's an amalgam of 2 existing coronaviruses that exist at the moment, making it doubly able to break down the defense system of the human body. It's designed specifically to negatively affect the human being. I'd call that a bioweapon. But then that's just me. Conspiracy theory, yeah. Conspiracy. Only this one seems to have shot people in the back because it's only killing Asians and Europeans. That's why they shut down the world. Because it was only killing Asians and Europeans. Yeah, let me bring the truth to you. It was only killing Asians and Europeans. If it was killing black people like Ebola was, everything would have carried on like normal because when Ebola was out, guess what? Everything carried on as normal. Apparently, Ebola is supposed to dissolve you from the inside. But no. We're going to keep international airports open. We're going to keep businesses going. A little bit of COVID-19 now. A little bit of a cough, yeah. A little bit of a cold. No, it's more than a cough and a cold. I'm taking a piss. But, boy, so they know on the sly who it was affecting. Yeah, was it a bioweapon? Well, it was certainly an effective bioweapon, not against black people. Okay, not against black people. That being the case, let's start a race war. Yeah, it's not affecting them. They're still partying. Yeah, youths in Brixton are running the police out of the manor. Let's track back. Okay, let's start a race war. Let's kneel on this guy's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. You and I know of all of the deaths when they want to precipitate a riot, okay, and this in Tottenham, they'll shoot Mark Duggan out in public and then not say anything and just like shoot you and go what, and then leave it till you get so angry that something kicks off. Or in the case like that shooting in Florida where they'll just like shoot the guy and then leave his body in the street. Or in the case of George Floyd, they'll kneel on your neck and just do it publicly with their hands in your pockets to outrage you. Okay? Now, you know who Black Lives is funded by, don't you? Of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do. You know how Black Lives you know who Black Lives was found. Black Lives Matter was founded by. Hold on a second. I know it's a rally cry. Don't get me wrong. You want to go down the road and you want to protest on Black Lives Matter. Okay, cool. I understand. But hold on a second. Do you think black people were sitting around the table and said, "What can we need a new slogan? What can we say? Yeah, we matter." No, no. Hold on a second. Maybe a bunch of white people were sitting around the table. What can we say about black people? Well, we're killing them like killing them by the bushel at the moment. Well, what can we say in opposite? Well, do they matter? Well, I suppose yeah. I mean, like you know, you know, Hugo was funny, and Carl's funny. They're black. Yeah, their lives matter. Oh yeah, some black lives do matter, don't they? Yes, yes, they do matter. When we come up with stuff, we say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Right? I'm black and I'm beautiful. Yeah, too black, too strong. Whew. Do you understand what I'm saying? When we come out on the ground, makes you just with the strength. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. That. We always said that was weak from the very beginning. In the beginning, it was weak. So now we have all the Black Lives Matter Negroes. Johnny come lately, Fisher Price, my first killing Negroes. Just come, oh, I'm outraged. Hold on a second. Track back a second. You do realize, and I've been saying this since Obama, you know, all the black, I tapped out on Philando Castile, right? Right. I cried after watching the Philando Castile shooting, and then I had to go back and I had to teach a class. Okay, right. That when I saw it when that came out that day, right, and I saw it that like literally an hour after they released the footage, and I was working and I was at work and I saw that at lunchtime. I cried over lunch. Then I had to go and teach the period five, right? Like fuck you, fuck all of you. We should have been way past negotiating a long time ago. Big up to the youth for chasing down the EDL. Okay, but if we track back a bit, right, the murder I tapped out with Philando Castile in the 1970s. The two most heinous forms of videos out there were pedophile videos and snuff videos. Okay, the two of the most X-rated that I wouldn't even want to delve into just to see what was going on. Right, pedophilia and snuff. Right now, obviously, pedophilia still kept its, the outrage is still there for pedophilia, much as the LGBTQ all letters matter. People might want to distort things at some point, but that's another topic. Right now, that's still an abhorrence to the majority of society. The snuff movie has been legitimized and served right up underneath your nose as news media and content. Yeah, traumatizing an entire generation. When that Black Lives Matter Black Lives Matter march happened in central London, the thing that struck me was it was mostly young people down there. It was mostly my students' age. Those were the people who, because they were all traumatized. Everybody was off, right? You got the lockdown. So for the first time, they saw a death video. That thing that had been banned in polite society in all Western culture since the 1970s, because they knew that a traumatic effect a a snuff video has on an individual. It dramatically traumatizes an individual. So they knew the devastating effect a snuff movie will have on young people, on the individuals, how it traumatizes you. And yet, I was allowed to watch Philando Castile. I was allowed to watch Sean Bell. I was allowed to watch, oh my goodness, George Floyd. I was allowed to watch innumerable of the first I Can't Breathe guy when they strangled him with them selling the cigarettes. Listen, it's there are just so many. I've seen Aubrey, like, and they were sharing that video around amongst themselves. The Ahmed Aubrey guy was they shot jogging. White supremacists were sharing it. They were sharing that video amongst themselves as a sick form of gratification because that's what snuff is, and yet that's the same content that they allow you to watch in news media, and they can still share it amongst themselves as a sick form of of titillation. Okay, and yet mainstream media, YouTube, all the kids with every single phone can watch a man die for 8 minutes 46 seconds, and you don't think that's not going to you don't think that's not going to traumatize kids? You don't think kids are going to be able to see their dads in that situation, their uncles, their brothers? You don't think that's going to? Of course, they want you to see that. They want to desensitize. But see, if it's traumatizing the kids, what do you think it's doing to white society? It's traumatizing some of white society, but for a large number of white society, they're doubling down. This is snuff for them. This is enjoyment. Okay, this stuff has been delivered up to them as enjoyment. Do you know what I mean? These killings. So I have to kind of hold back a little bit with the Johnny Come Lately, Fisher Price, My First Killing, Negroes all coming in, shouting and screaming, going, yeah, look, mate, I was here and I was traumatized before you. But they're doing this intentionally. Okay, they're traumatizing a whole generation of kids. That's why I don't think this thing is going to stop anytime soon. Can you see what it is yet? Can you see now? Hold on a second. Because I think because I didn't write anything down before I started doing this, I just thought, look, let me just shoot the shit. Black Lives Matter now. Let me tell you what the betrayal that happened in London. If you organise it now, please do me a favour. Feel free to comment, and if you think I'm talking rubbish, please tell me. But I'm Black Power till the day I die. Okay. And if you create a march, a Black Lives Matter march in central London, okay, and I've known this from running clubs. If I ran a club and I promoted a club night, for whatever reason that club night was cancelled, okay, even though even though like I told everybody for 2 weeks, if I'd been promoted for 3 4 months, on the night I would have one member of staff there, just because you know what, people put things in their diary and they go off into their tunnel of life and they come back out again. I would have one member of staff there to like say, look, sorry, the thing's not on, yeah. I wouldn't just not turn up and say ting not happening, not turn up. I'd at least have one member of staff there saying, look, go home, right, because nothing's going on today. Right? But Black Lives Matter cancelled the march. There was always going to be people turning up, and they cancelled the march. Why did they cancel the march? Because the BNP EDL were turning up. Excuse me. And because police have spoken to them. So this organisation, this Black Lives Matter, inverted commas, organisation, your first big march in London, when people are going to show up because they've all been traumatised by the video, you know, it's a guaranteed slam dunk. People are going to turn up, people are going to show up, they're going to show out. Right? You cancel because the ED, because you're scared the ED are going to be what kind of pussified, homogenized pussy. So I look anyway. Look, let me even sorry. Okay, where's the backbone there? Where was the backbone there? What kind of backbone is there? Yeah, the idiot. Like, sorry. Now, excuse me. If I'm organising a march, an anti-racist march, an anti-racist Black Lives apparently matter march, and you tell me racists are gonna what? Racists are turning up on the same day as my Black Lives Matter march. Are you dumb? Wait, Gran, come out the house. Everybody, come out the house. Women, children. Hey, listen, if you're down for this, come out the house. The racists are going to be there. Obviously, not women, children, not anyone who's going to be hurt. But if you're down for it, if you are down, if you wanted to, if you wanted your moments, yeah, to stick it to a racist 101, here, this is your moment. This is my perfect moment with you. Right? And what did you do? You cancelled. So, you know what? I'm sitting there watching it on the internet. And I see the thing is, I was watching the EDL march. Because as far as I was concerned, the Black Lives Matter march wasn't happening. They cancelled, right? But I'm thinking, in my head, I'm thinking, there'll be people there. You know, they put it in their diary. There'll be people there. Okay? So, 2-2s now. I'm watching Russia Today over by Parliament, and I'm seeing some of the crowd breaking off. I'm seeing some of this EDL man breaking off, heading towards the bridge and going down that road, going towards Embankment. Well, I know where that leads. That leads towards Trafalgar Square. Hold up, hold up. Is there any live streams? Oh yeah, there is. There's only like 50 man there. There's only like 50 black people there, 50, 60 black people there. Hold on a second. There's like 5,000 EDL. What? What? You left them out to dry like that? Black Lives Matter. Yeah, someone, please, because like, come, you left them out to dry like that. You didn't even say like, okay, let's say if you were worried about the racists, go and tell them to go home. You left them out to dry like that. And when the first 400 marched into Trafalgar Square, right, and it looked like, well, boy, completely outnumbered. It looked scary because if those guys decided to rush them, they were finished, right? That's when, and let me not dry snitch or snitch. That's when individuals took it upon themselves to leave and go down there and represent because they saw the disparity. Once again, that was engineered by that cancellation. Okay, second wave turns up. They start rushing now. Oh well, there's only a few people there. The EDL are rushing the north, the south, and the east. No, sorry, the north, the east, and the west of Trafalgar Square, right? And the police are kind of running around and kind of defending. But slowly but surely, people who saw this started turning up. People who are watching this are like, nah, I'm not having that. We're not having that. They started turning up to Trafalgar Square, and it's a good thing they did because Black Lives Matter told people not to turn up, and it's a good thing they did turn up. It's a good thing they did turn up because after a while now, the numbers started to swell. Now, hold on a second. Before I just jump onto what happened there, did you notice the coons? Did you notice the coons? I saw you, mixed race boy with the lanky mixed race boy with the crutch, yeah, marching with the EDL. I saw you. I saw one black ass, jet black magazine tar motherfucking baby, yeah, with the EDL. You dumb ass, you raccoon, right? You deserve all of those insults because that's what you are. You are less than a man. You are less than a man. With the EDL, right? Standing up on the plinth at the bottom of Nelson's column. Did you not see that? Shaking their hands and everything. And then bootlicking Africans turned up. Started shaking the hands of the EDL. Bootlicking. Oh, I think they're not so bad. You don't understand their politics. You don't understand their politics. Yeah? Would have died in starvation in your own fucking country. Bootlicking Africans come over here who don't want to be down. Shaking the hands of the EDL. Did you notice that? Because that needs to be noticed. I think because we need to take note of this shit. Anyways, 2-2s now. Oh, I love the spirit. My heart is rising right now when I think about it. When they decided to occupy the centre of Trafalgar Square, right, and then everyone moves up a little bit towards Embankment, yeah, and then I think up kind of up Leicester Square a little bit. There was still some EDL, and people were like fuck EDL, fuck, and then we're chasing EDL down, chase them down chase them into Shaftesbury Avenue, chase them around that way. Started to get split up a little bit. Everybody reform, come back into the centre, chase down the EDL though, and the ones that wanted to come into Trafalgar, they got battered as they deserve to get battered. Right? That was the time. That was the time. Boy, if everyone had turned out, it would have been. Listen, if everybody had turned up at the time, it wouldn't have been a few people. Anyway, it would have been a much more profound effect. It would have been a much more profound positive effect. Instead, this is what happened because Black Lives Matter were outnumbered, and they were outnumbered. I'm sorry, like I'm still talking 200 versus 3,000. But it was more than 50, then it swelled to 200, then it swelled to about 300, and it was still several thousand EDL, but most of them were pissed by like 1, 2 o'clock. You have to understand, they were pissed by 1, 2 o'clock, they were pissed, right? So, hold on now. Okay, everybody's smart, People know, okay, ain't some of them who've been there ain't their first rodeo. You stay after a certain time, much as police are saying they're preventing you from preventing the EDL from fighting you, blah blah blah. As soon as they're done, they're gonna just turn around and start kettling you. Okay, so people aren't stupid. Right, let's move. Everyone bops now. Okay, the point was made. EDL have gone. Right, there was no protest anyway. There were no speakers. There was no stage, no anything like that. So everybody dispersed. Boom, everybody starts to disperse. But as it is, the youth, them they got a fire in their belly, innit? Good for them, and good for them. Yeah, good for them, right? Because the old coons, I need to get the fuck out the way. Please, someone help me rid ourselves of the old coons. Because, boy, our legendary instance of coonery was coming up, right? So, the crowd split. Okay, as far as I know, and checking on the RT channels and everything, checking on the other live channels, a lot of the EDL just went straight to Victoria. No, sorry, they went straight to Embankment, or they went to Waterloo, and they went back down to Essex. Yeah, where they'd come from, right? Or Sussex, mostly Essex. Yeah, right. And some of them went back up to St Albans, Hertfordshire, right? Because that's where they'd come down from, right? So we knew most of them are kind of gone, but there was still one or two hanging around that thought they were hard, and they got hunted down and battered, as they should. Okay, stay with me. Hold on a second. Everybody crosses across the bridge now, over to Waterloo Park now. Okay, little scuffles, blah blah blah. People still screaming EDL, getting hunted down and battered. Hold on, the people were screaming EDL, hunted down and battered. Okay, but before one of them gets too battered, you for wherever you are. In swoops Patrick Hutchinson and picks up the EDO man, right, and carries him to safety from the brutal onslaught of the Negro crowd, right? Only that guy was a policeman, not Patrick Hutchinson. The guy that he saved, that was a copper. That was a copper in the EDL. The black man saved a copper from the EDL, and they're trying to make him like he's a hero. I'll say it again. The black man saved a copper in the EDL that got caught slipping, right, after the demonstration. That's what happens. Okay? Right? Google it. Okay? Because I think people should do a who carries a sack of shit better challenge needs to go down. Yeah? What kind of fucking legendary go around the world coonery is that? Because that's legendary go around the world coonery. I never thought that. I mean, America has been cultivating its coons for hundreds of years, right? I expect American coonery. Do you know what I mean? I know they've got their high-profile coons, right? But I didn't think that. Oh, I always knew that would happen, but I didn't think that we see coonery to that extent. You're saving the EDO policeman from a battering. He deserves double the battering. How do you know who he is? Why do you think he needs saving? Why does he need saving? Why did he need saving? How come it was the copper that you saved, Patrick Hutchinson? How come it was the copper that you saved, Patrick Hutchinson? Why that one, Patrick Hutchinson? That's what I want to know. What is that random? Was that random? You just felt in your heart that you had to save him from the brutality of the Negro onslaught. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Suspect. Yeah? Suspect. Boy, hey, next person I choose trying to save someone from the EDO, I'm slapping the shit out of them. And I don't want to fight my own people, but what the fuck is that shit? What the fuck is that shit? Like I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. What the fuck is that? Right? Once again, showing that we are servile. Yeah, you can kill us. Yeah, yeah. We can even go out to protest you killing us, but God forbid we do anything to you, because I'm going to save you, master. Fucking pissed me off, man. You might be able to tell. So, that seems to be the biggest thing out of that, and then everything died down further. People went about their way, blah blah blah. So anyone who was stupid enough to stay after that would have got kettled. And but if you didn't know by now, well then, boy, what can I say? Yeah, Fisher Price, my first protest. Yeah, well, you live and you learn, right? Whole heap of people the first time stood around outside the monument and they got killed. I've been there before, and when you get killed, you got to rush the line. You got to rush the line. You got to rush the line. Yeah, you got to break the line. You got to make everyone rush behind you. Then everybody goes about their business. Otherwise, you stay there for 3 hours and you piss yourself. Okay, that's that's what you do. Okay, yeah. Show me the police kettling anybody in Brixton. You weak heart. Show me police killing anybody in Brixton. They would get run out. Show them killing anybody in Tottenham. It's not going to happen. Right? So find your balls. Yeah? If you find yourself in a situation like that, find your balls. Yeah, otherwise you're going to be there, they'll let you out one by one and then they arrest you and fingerprint you individually one by one systematically. Otherwise, some have to go down for the benefit of the many, don't they? On occasions. Where are we now? Bang into this. I've been, tell you the truth, I've enjoyed the lockdown. Oh, it's been wonderful seeing so many coons waking up for the first time, running around going, "Oh, they're killing us!" Okay, you go, yeah, yeah, I know they're killing us, yeah, okay. What are you gonna do? Why do you seem so casual about it? Well, no, I'm not. I'm not casual about it. But when I came into the educational system and I was trying to teach you, you guys were laughing and you were getting trainers off the PE teacher, and he was the good guy. He's been good to us. A student said, but he's been good to us though, sir. He's been good to us. That came out of his because they feed him free trainers. But he's been good to us. Meanwhile, you motherfucking dickhead, you can't read and you fucking you can't write for shit, yeah, and your job prospects are fucked because you're pretty much illiterate, but you were a fucking fantastic footballer. But he was good to us, though, sir. You see, all them people, that's your Black Lives Matter Negroes, yeah. All right, boy, let me work out some frustrations. Yeah, let me work out for some frustrations. Yeah, all those people that I tried to see, a lot woke up, and a lot woke up to be intellectual powerhouses on their own merit because they know how to think. I'm not telling people what to think, but they know how to think. And boy, half of these Black Lives Matter people are coons, coons who've just woken up. Thing is, I used to be a coon. I know that. I know I was happy-go-lucky, smiling Sambo at one point. Yeah, because my dad didn't imbue me with any sensibilities of race and self-preservation. They've got all the bombs, all the tanks, all the guns. We're the only poor black people. They have to work hard and hard. They leave us alone. You know, that generation. That's day. And there's been coonery coming down, but big up to the youth because right now they're the ones spearheading things. If you look, check Facebook and everything like that, you're gonna see it's all them older Negroes, all them older 50-something-year-old Negroes now, right? Even my age, 40s, 50s Negroes now that basically got along to get along. Now, who didn't want to see an end to the system, only wanted to see they didn't want to see an end to the system. They only sought to find a comfortable place within it. Them niggas see that there's a little bit of a shake of the foundation going on, and they got their place, they got their position through coonery. Now there's a new force coming. There's a new force in town, and that new force can say white supremacy. What? A few years ago, you couldn't say white supremacy. White supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy. Okay, yeah, that's the new guy in town, and he'll say that and describe. I used to say neo-imperialism. That's what I used to say. Yeah, I used to say the dominant culture. Yeah, yeah, I used to say things like that. Yeah, but people are finding their balls, and it's a good thing. So this year, man, where are we now? Starting to realise that. Well, hold on a second. January, February, March, April, May, June. We're in June now, and coronavirus still hasn't gone into Africa. Do you think it's because Africa doesn't have any 5G towers? Do you think that virus? Apparently, you can only get a virus intravenously. I was ill with something. I must have got it somehow. How did it get through my blood? I didn't inject anything. My girlfriend had it. I thought I caught it off my girlfriend. But then, if it can only be injected through the blood system, then how did I get it as well? Do you understand what I'm saying? But then maybe what people are saying is, the physiological effects of 5G is your body trying to repair itself in the same manner that you would have if you'd had a virus. That's why it looks like you're recovering from a virus, because it's your body repairing itself from being cooked under 5G. Could it have been 5G trials? I don't know. But there's no 5G in Africa, and they ain't got it, and they ain't getting it. And if they've been dealing with Ebola and they beat Ebola, what makes you think they're going to die from COVID-19? Yeah, and if we've been killed by police, suffering police brutality and murders for the last 300 odd, 400 odd years, what makes you think we're going to give a fuck about COVID? I mean, the young won't. The young won't. What the fuck? They're partying. CNN reported the other day that despite the Black Lives Matter movement, there hasn't been an increase in COVID in the black community. Somebody lying. Somebody's lying. Anyway, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Just scroll through my shit. Yeah, obviously, Donald Trump's still there. Yeah, people started to wise up to the fact that Black Lives Matter. But it's a real shame that we need. What do we need? Now is the time for our black artists, people of prominence, to say something. Don't go along to get along. Say something. Define the time before someone else defines it for you. They're going to turn around and say, "Oh, well, that's just American." As this smiley culture didn't get killed in the way he did. Yeah, we got to define the time. I'm defining the time right now as I see it. This is what's gone down since I've been off the air, since I've been away. This is what's transpired since I've been off the air. I'm just recanting everything. I might even go back and do little serial things about that time. Then I would have been making blogs at the time. Circumstances did not permit, unfortunately. However, I think the circumstances have changed somewhat. So I'm back to chronology. I'm talking about what's going on at the moment. And I think, yeah, there needs to be one or two higher profile black people with balls. Big ups to John Boyega, yeah, for having the balls to say something. Yeah, where are the rest of you black entertainers, you intellectuals? Be wary of the intellectuals that they're feeding up to you over this period of time. Remember, Black Lives Matter is existing to not circumvent, but to usurp, yeah, Black Death, and propagate their own agenda off the popularity of a Black Death, which I think is a reprehensible thing to do. But, we're going to use the catchphrase, we'll use the catchphrase, but please let's not confuse ourselves as to what the organization is doing. That's what they're doing. They're steering the agenda. Do you think they're going to kill us by the bushel and us not respond in any mass fashion and them not be involved in guiding how that response is directed? Of course they are. That's what they're doing right now. That's why we've been saying to you, ain't no Johnny come lately people telling you about George Soros and Black Lives Matter. Everyone's been saying this for like 6, 7 years. It's only now everyone's started to realise. Okay? So, I think more people need to say something. Say something. Anyways, on that note, let me take my ass out of here and render this up. Anyway, if you don't know who this is Debate the Cause. I suppose I'm back.